If you were like me, a little over a month and a half ago, you jumped into a game which you believed was going to be the central focus of your future inside of action RPG gaming. However, as time has progressed, we have found there to be a lot of bugs and issues which have arrived, and I must say, GGG has been excellent at addressing those issues and fixing them for us. But after last night's tavern talk, I started seeing red flags pop up left and right due to the type of language which is being used and portraying what kind of future the game developers are actually wanting to pursue, which might not be in line with what you want to pursue. So are you a crafter hoping that things are going to go back to the way it was in Path of Exile 1, where you could use the crafting bench and you had more deterministic ideas on how you could adjust the armor for you? Let's listen to what they have to say.
I think about it more and look more. But yeah, certainly there is the feedback of like the crafting is too slot machiney. Is something we're listening to and we have seen, and it is, I'd say that is more towards our top 10 list of things to discuss and solve sooner than later.
Right.
Now, this was kind of the closing argument to the question, which was what direction was crafting going to take? But what you have to understand is, at this point, they might be feeling like they're getting backed into a corner and have to give some kind of response to not piss off a lot of people. Because you have to keep in mind, what did they say before they got to this point?
Socketables were kind of supposed to be the thing that was you had full control over, that's like determinism. And so that, like...
Which has a lot of room to expand over time.
Sure.
There's a fine line there.
Yeah.
And we're on the, certainly more on the slot machine side of that line.
Now, from the language I just heard, GGG has already made up its mind about crafting. If you're expecting there to be big changes where you have more deterministic values on how the future of your armor is being created or crafted, you are probably going to be very sad, because by the looks of it, they believe the only way to make dropped gear on the ground valuable is to make sure that they maintain an RNG type role system in which the only deterministic value you have is to slot skill gems, skill support gems, and ruins inside of that gear. So, is this going to affect the way the general population looks at it? Well, there might be some more things to think about on how they actually think about the general population in the game.
I mean, as for an average player versus not, that's kind of hard to answer. I mean, I don't know if the average player gets halfway through maps, really.
Now, I don't want to take this out of context because they do have meaningful information before this talking about how ascendancy should be something that is difficult and something you should strive for. However, whenever I hear someone say that the average person is not able to complete the basic part of in-game, this kind of makes me feel like we are going to lose a large chunk of our population because people, yes, want to have some kind of difficulty that they can try to achieve to get stuff, but they don't want there to be something where the vast majority of people are not going to reach that point.
Okay, so imagine we release one act, right? It's like, how does it fit exactly into having the leveling? Like, do you go like 1, 2, 3, 4 and then like 1, 2 again? Like, that'd be kind of weird. Or like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, or like, do you have Act 4? You can also play Act 1 or Act 4, or like, you know, like it's kind of just weird, right? And like, so like from that perspective, it's like, oh, we should do them all at once, like at some point. But then on the other hand, we're like, okay, if we don't release the acts one at a time, then that kind of means like all the content from that we're sort of busy having to work on, we still have to have good releases, right? And so that means we have to have like more stuff in what we do release if it doesn't contain an act.
Now, hearing the way that they describe the way they're going to be releasing things in the future is what's raising red flags for me, because I'm already in this game and getting a tad bit bored at in-game. And remember, this was their major sell point. We dedicated so much time into in-game so that everybody is going to enjoy it to the fullest. And we decided that you are never going to be bored in in-game. Well, guess what? I'm getting bored, and just about everyone I know is also getting bored. So yeah, they dumped a lot of concepts in there, but the main problem here is that it's just the same thing being regurgitated over and over again. And now you hear them say, we don't know how the best part of the game, at least for me and all of the friends that I'm playing with, which was Acts 1, 2, and 3, Now we don't know how we're going to progress that into the future, and we're only going to release maybe this one, or maybe all three, or maybe this one or that one. They can't make up their mind. And this is what's raising super red flags for me, and should be for you too, because here it is in the future. It is free to play, so I guess you're not really losing anything. But I mean, come on, how many times are you going to want to play through a storyline which is just repeating itself over and over again for an end game that probably isn't going to get that much attention in the near future? Now, please don't misunderstand my point on this game. I love Path of Exile. I always will. And I will continue to play it. And I don't exactly feel the struggles that some people do, and some people are way progressed beyond me, which I am struggling to reach. My concern is not on myself, but it is on the general community of people which I play with. I try to help on a daily basis. I don't want there to be a period of time in this game where there is going to be less people to play with and help because the game is just too rigorous or too tedious to continue on. If you feel like this game is perfect for you, I mean, tell me about it. Explain to me what you think is working well. Tell me what you think about what they said in that tavern talk, because it is very important for us as a community to bind together and try to have a good single strong voice to help push developers in the direction that we would like to see the game go. Everybody, have a great day.